Hi everybody, it's Yasmin here. How are you doing? Hope this day finds you very well. Those of you listening on SoundCloud, you can't see me, but I've literally got out of the water seconds ago and I'm soaking, my hair's soaking, I've got sunglasses on. It's not that sunny today. Actually, it's warm, but there's a few clouds, but it's still hot. It's actually hot. I feel much better having had a swim. So how is everybody today? Today is a very big day for me because my diary is published today. Yay! More about that in a minute. What I actually thought that I would talk about today is something that I was working on yesterday. We had a big team meeting with my growing team, and I can tell you, if you're an entrepreneur, don't make the same mistake I made and not bring people in as soon as you can afford them, because it really helps when you have other people to lighten your load. And you might think, oh, I can't afford anyone, but actually when you bring other people on board, you start to increase your revenue, and therefore you can afford to pay other people to help you, and it just helps you, frees you up creatively to do more things that you love to do. In fact, one of my favorite entrepreneurs is a girl in America, a woman in America called Sarah Prout, and she kind of taught me that. She taught me a lot actually, Sarah Prout. I used to exchange a few emails with her, but I haven't heard from her for a very long while. But she taught me that. So that's my advice to you today. If you are an entrepreneur, if you are working for yourself, if you want to turn your side hustle into a business, if you want to come out of lockdown with a whole new business, as soon as you can afford it, get someone in to help you, even if it just starts with a VA who can help you work out your diary and stuff like that. No reason, astrological reason whatsoever for mentioning that, by the way, but it just occurred to me. Oh look, there's some ducks. Hello ducks. Actually, so what happened was I was talking to my team yesterday, and we were actually talking about the astrology for the second half of 2020. I know you said 2017. I'm just going to bring you a little bit closer. The astrology for the second half of 2020. And there are some quite big things happening, and I just thought, off the top of my head, let me see if I can remember them. But before I do that, let me just say, still a chance to win a reading with me if you want to see how all these energies are going to play out for you personally. I would love to do it. I'm going to give away a half-hour reading to one person who's bought my diary or buys my diary, the Moonology diary. It's out today, and there's a link above on Facebook and on Instagram. I'm very sorry I don't have a link, but Instagram doesn't help me really with things like that, so I can't. But there's a link, and one person, and we can talk about your chart, we can talk about what I'm about to discuss. Anyway, let's talk about what I'm about to discuss, although I would love you to win the reading. So there are some big things happening, and I guess one of the biggest things is that we are going to have the planets Jupiter and Saturn changing signs at the end of this year, and that's pretty big news. That's going to be big news for everybody, because Jupiter and Saturn are both mega planets, and when they change signs, it's quite the big deal. So one thing I'd really like you to know today, as we talk about what's happening in the second half of the year, is that for the past 2 years, we've all been sent lessons. We've all been taught stuff, okay? And wherever you have Capricorn in your chart, I'll tell you where you do in a minute. Wherever you have Capricorn in your chart is where there's been so much happening for you. Now, if you happen to have my Moonology diary 2021, or the 2021, or the 2021, for that matter, but I just happened to turn straight to this page actually. On page 135, where we've got the full moon in Capricorn information, every time there's a full moon, there's information about where in your chart it's taking place. Now, a little pro tip for people who've got this year's diary, or last year's diary, or this one, next year's diary. So just say where it says full moon in Capricorn, okay? if it's Capricorn, if it's the new or the full moon in Capricorn, and you look at the houses section, that is where Capricorn is for you, all right? So, you know, I mean, you could also look at the new moon in Capricorn just to show you how it works. So if you went back, so the new moon in Capricorn was in mid-January. And if you look there, you'll see all the houses information is exactly the same, because whether it's a new moon in Capricorn or a full moon in Capricorn, it's always going to affect the same part of your chart, because guess what? We all have Capricorn in our chart somewhere. We all have 12 signs in our chart somewhere. So Capricorn has been this really big hotspot for the past few years, because we had first Pluto, which was already a lot. Then we had Saturn joining the mix, and now we've got Jupiter in there as well. So we've actually had Pluto, Jupiter and Saturn and Pluto all in the sign of Capricorn. Now let me tell you where it is for you. So if you are Aries or Aries rising, particularly listen to your rising sign. That will tell you where you've had so much potential and so much chance to change, and possibly so many traumas to get through, okay? Aries or Aries rising's more important. It's been all to do with your career and making your mark on the world. For Taurus and Taurus rising, it's been to do with publishing. Well, I'm Taurus rising and I've had a lot of publishing going on in the last few years. Gemini or Gemini rising, it's been to do with sex and money. What's been going on for you with sex and money? Cancer or Moonchild rising, it's been to do with your love life. How's your love life? Because I'm sure it's been a bit on fire. And if it's been empty and boring, I don't want to be a bad astrologer, but there's kind of an argument to say not a bad time to be single, because I mean, it might be painful being single, but at least you're not going to get all your buttons pushed. Leo or Leo rising, it's been your 6th house of really to do with your daily life, so a chance to transform your daily life, maybe to make it healthier. That's the best possible outcome from the past few years. Virgo or Virgo rising, it's been to do with creativity, children, and romance. So hopefully you've had something exciting going on there. It can be challenging, it can be good. It kind of depends. Like for me, I mentioned publishing, and for Taurus rising, it's publishing, study, travel, and all that, overseas adventures. I mentioned that for me, that it's been publishing, and it's been amazing. Like I've had, you know, these books and, you know, so many cards and everything. It's all been amazing, but it's been a lot of hard work. Okay, so you know, it can be good, but it's also hard work. For Libra or Libra rising, it's been about your personal life and about your home and family, where you feel at home. Scorpio and Scorpio rising, it's been in your 3rd house. Okay, so basically you've had your mind blown. But also the other thing to know of your Scorpio, especially Scorpio rising, your word is so much your wand right now. It's like abracadabra, by your words you create. So just be aware of that. Sag or Sagittarius rising, it's been to do with cash, property and possessions. So if you've turned yourself into a property tycoon in the past few years, you can thank the Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto connections. And the 1st house, Capricorn or Capricorn rising, it's been about your whole life. So if you're Capricorn rising especially, and you've been through the mill in the past few years, it's been the changes you had to make. It's been detoxifying, and you've left the past behind. So just, you know, kick the past to the curb. Aquarius or Aquarius rising, it's been in your 12th house, so hopefully you've had something of a spiritual epiphany. But there's also the fact that all the planetary activity's been preparing you for what's about to come, which is Saturn and Jupiter moving into your sign. And that's why I've been saying for the last 2 or so years, work through your fears if you're Aquarius or Aquarius rising. I don't know if you've heard me saying that. Work through your fears, because otherwise Saturn's going to come and bite your bum. You've still got a few months to do it. And Pisces or Pisces rising, it's been in your 11th house. So if you've cleared out your friends list, if all your friends have changed or disappeared, or you've made some really powerful friends, or some friends have changed your life in an amazing way, that's been Jupiter and Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn. Now, so what you need to know about that is that that cycle is going to come to an end at the end of this year, okay? So wherever I just mentioned, you still have let's see, about August, September, October, about 4 or so months left to work on transforming whatever part of your life I just mentioned if you don't feel it's already been amazingly transformed. So there you go. So I'm afraid to say that due to a clerical error, I'm just going to show you the lovely view here. Due to a clerical error, I came out to the beach and I went for a swim, and my beautiful husband brought out the camera on the tripod so I could do this, but I didn't bring my cards. I'm really sorry. So I'll be back tomorrow with some cards, but remember today is the first day to buy my new diary, and if you would like to win a personal reading with me, I'll be giving away a free reading to one person who buys the diary, but you have to put your details in the link above. Like if you buy it on Amazon or you go into a bricks and mortar shop, I won't know about it. You have to enter your details. I'm sorry about that, that's just how it works. So I hope you're really well. I don't have my reading glasses on and I've got sunnies on, it's really bright, so I can't read your comments, but I will read them after. For those of you who like to chant, I'm actually going to go and I'm going to do my chanting now. I'm going to hang up from this and then I'm going to come back on. I'm going to do my chanting because I haven't done my chanting today, and I love my chanting. So we'll be having champagne and a special dinner tonight to celebrate the release of this. And I want to thank all of you who've bought it so far, who've really come out in droves. I think we've sold twice as many in pre-order this year than we did last year. So I'm so grateful, and I really hope you like the book. I can't wait to go through it, and we're actually creating some special events at the end of the year for people who've bought the diary to make it even more of a special experience. As well as, of course, I'll be doing a big year ahead workshop in January as well for everybody who's got a copy. All right, so on that note, I hope I've given you something to think about for the rest of the year. Lots of love, and I'll see you tomorrow. See if I can actually work out how to turn this off now. Mwah, lots of love.